Today I'll be looking at how do we make sense of what is happening in Zimbabwe. So I'll be analyzing, evaluating both politically and socially. But to do that, I'll also be looking at the various textbooks that I use to evaluate what is happening in Zimbabwe, and also at a global note. Mind you, we don't live in an island. We have to make sense in relation to the past events, to the international events, and also to the national and regional events. This is one of my good books, which is George Owell, 1984. And some of you might have heard the expression, Big Brother is watching you. It actually comes from this book, a very powerful book by George Owell. I also have read extensively the Shoch Doctrine by Naomi, Klein. Now this book is a very powerful one for those who want to explore people who make their riches out of chaos, especially politicians. We know that within Zimbabwe and ZANU PF, there's quite a lot of people who have become rich overnight because either of their relationship with the first family or because they are in power. People like Mpofu, people like Kasukuwere, and people like Chombo. So yes, this one will be the book for you. There's also a very powerful book by Martin Meredith. He's a powerful author who writes about Africa, both politically and economically. So this one, it actually traces the African states from independence right to this modern day to see how many of those African countries have improved the livelihood of their own people, both politically and also economically. A very interesting and very powerful book. I'm also a fan of Barack Obama, Dreams from My Father. This is one of my good books that actually reflects the journey that the African people took to America in search of education, and eventually culminating in one of the sons of Africa, Barack Obama, becoming the president of the United States. I also follow quite a lot about the writings of Nelson Mandela, Conversation with Myself, a very powerful one. And I also read quite a lot of Nelson Mandela's books, including Long Walk to Freedom. Again, I recommend people out there, you read this book, which is Zimbabwe, My Home and Frustration, written by Pfebve. So this is one of my books, a very good one. I also recommend Social Justice and Food Security, written by Pfebve. It actually sort of explores the imbalances of distribution of wealth within the world and how various countries are failing their own people, including the United Nations failing to come up with coherent policies that punishes those countries or rogue elements. Our Votes, Our Guns, Robert Mugabe and the Tragedy of Zimbabwe by Martin Meredith. A very powerful one. It sort of explores the life of Robert Mugabe, right from the wars of liberation struggle to 1980 independence and the various turbulence stages within the people of Zimbabwe until in the 90s and in the 2000s after MDC was formed. Meredith also wrote about me in this book. I also have read extensively about Desmond Tutu, the Rainbow People's God. as he explores the struggle of the people of South Africa, the achievement that South Africa has done through unit of purpose, which is quite a very powerful one. I've also read Morgan Tsvangirai at the Deep End, a very powerful book by Morgan Tsvangirai. I recommend people read about it. It's quite a good one. It actually gives, it explores the life history of Morgan Tsvangirai as a person, from the ZCTU through to the formation of MDC, the government of national unity, and up to this day. Another good book that I'll be exploring as we move forward with the Zimbabwean situation will be The Dangerous Diplomat. A very powerful book that actually explores the relationship with the US and rogue elements in the world. Zimbabwe is also highlighted in this, and Joe Mopra also wrote about me in this book. So yes, the reason why I had to go through these books is to show you that as I do my commentaries and evaluation and analysis of Zimbabwe, I'll also be delving into these books to make sense, so that people out there who either they are researching about Zimbabwe who are able to do a reference to these books. So yes, I will be one book at a time as I analyze, as we make sense of what is happening in Zimbabwe. You know, in Zimbabwe there are stayaways, you know, there are demonstrations, the government is bankrupt, people are not being paid their salaries on time, especially the civil servants. People have now been marginalized. They can bring in goods from neighboring countries, as the government has now proclaimed a statutory instrument 64 of 2016 that bans foodstuffs from being brought in the country, a livelihood of many Zimbabweans, and Zimbabwe has got over 90% unemployment. And we are a vendor nation, so people make a living out of vending. And now we'll be evaluating as to what does this mean to the Zimbabweans, those people who survive on selling and buying, if they are now not allowed to buy any more goods from South Africa, from Botswana, or from neighboring countries. And again, I'll be relating to some of these books because it makes sense to relate to other countries, other situations similar to our ones, and see how we can find a solution. Thank you. Until we meet again, Elliot Pfebve.